Welcome to Under the Sun podcast.
I'm Irene.
And I'm Ilea. We're so glad you're here. Grab a hot
or iced coffee and join us as we talk about everything under the sun.
I was in my ear hole.
What?
Whatever that crunching was.
My butt.
Ew.
My chair. Welcome.
Welcome to probably the lowest quality video and audio.
Probably audio.
Podcast that you have ever heard, but that doesn't mean that this episode is not going to have tremendous value, right?
Yes, right.
We're, do you want to give it a disclaimer?
Yeah, so the disclaimer is people got to stop doing it in the fall so that we can stop having babies born in the month of June.
I know. Well, honestly, like May and June has been a blur, and then things hopefully like start slowing down in July.
Yeah.
But, spring.
May, I have 3 birthdays and Mother's Day, Memorial Day. And then in June, I have like 4 birthdays, Father's Day. Well, we have most of those overlapping. So
yeah, because we're obviously sister-in-law, so that those family events all happen. And so there's just only so much we can do. That, and on top of it, like our garden is in like needs like maintenance and stuff like that. We're planting season and stuff, and we're hosting a lot of those events that we had. It's just
and we just give a little life update on my end. Jacob and I, my husband and I bought an RV in 2017 to flip, and we started flipping it, and then I got pregnant, and then didn't want to be around. Oh, thank you. Hop out of here. Also, disclaimer: our children are here. Okay, remember, I'm on a podcast, so you have to hop in there, okay? Yes, ma'am. Anyways, I got pregnant when we were renovating the first time, and then all of the chemicals. I was like, I don't want to be around any of these things. Then finally, after him, started working on it again, and then got pregnant again, and then didn't want to be around the chemicals again, so I keep bouncing. And long story longer, the place that we're renting told us we have to be out by June 30th, or they're pushing it out with a bulldozer. So now we have to very quickly do like years worth of a renovation in 2 more weeks.
But y'all been working on that. You've known for about a month and a half, right? So like even May was filled with, so like we've both just had a lot going on. And glad all of this is hopefully coming to a slowdown at the end of the month. But we have our kiddos here with us today. Both of our husbands Dave's working on picking me up a rug from Facebook Marketplace, and Jacob is working on the RV. So we're doing the best we can with what we got. But we have our kids here, and we have a great episode for you guys today. So just bear with us on the sound and the quality, and we will get back to normal when life gets a little bit back to normal.
Yes, we have to, and we've been saying it forever. Have to do the just doing our best shirts, because I feel like there's so many people, so many moms that are really literally just doing our best, and even if it's keeping your nose above water, that's still great. That's still your best.
Yeah. I feel like I won the day because I actually went for a walk, and I was like, I was like, you know what? Because I'm one to just do all the things. Yeah. And be like, I'll work out when I have time. And then we never have time. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to go for a walk today because I have to. But anywho, okay. What are we talking about today?
We are talking about how to read a nutrition label.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I'm excited because people actually wanted to know about it too. So it's not just us picking a topic and hoping people care.
Yeah.
But it's also good info if you don't know how to do it, or if you're new to being crazy.
Yeah. And a lot of people just believe that it's about calories and carbs and that's it. And it's
I never look at those.
I never ever look at
those. I look at the sugar.
Yeah.
And the protein to see if it's higher, but it's how much protein is not a make or break for me. I'm trying to up that. So
yeah. And we're going to try to keep this short because we do have our kids. And so we're trying to limit interruptions. But so this might be a part 1 because it's actually, I'm sure if you're watching this, it's an overwhelming thing to learn how to read ingredients labels. Yeah. But do not be disheartened. You can learn this skill and then do what's right for your family. So it's not just carbs and calories, it's ingredient order, hidden sugars, food dyes, preservatives, all of it we're going to talk about. Knowing a way to spot the red flags. So that'll actually nourish your body.
Yeah. So I have some notes and you have some notes.
Yeah.
So we'll just jump right in if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Part one?
Yep, part one. So here in the U.S., over 70% of packaged foods have added sugars in everything. Pasta sauce, ketchup, salad dressing, bread.
Yeah. And companies definitely like count on the fact that most people don't read those things or care about those things and just love the convenience of it. And they bank on the fact that people don't look at it. So,
and all of those hidden ingredients are like what you and I are actively fighting against in some way or another, because all of those things like the seed oils, that all comes out in your skin. Too much sugar comes out in your skin. It bogs down your liver. It comes out in your hormones. It's just a mess.
Yeah. And so when people are like, oh, this is just how I am, this is the person I am, like the reason I'm so grumpy is because like this is just who I am, or the reason I'm so tired is like it's just my makeup. It's not. It's the decisions we make by what we put in our mouth. So reading food labels.
Like I will say, my skin, I know everyone's like, you have good skin. It's like, yeah, I have good skin because I've worked on my innards for a long time. Like when I was in high school, I had like pretty bad cystic acne. Thank the Lord I didn't scar. I don't know how I didn't scar, but and I'd always actually have a little bit of scarring up in here that I'm hoping our new frownies will work. But my friends used to joke that I used to joke, so my friends used to joke that my rhinoceros horn was back because and still to this day,
that's the only time you get a pimple is like right there.
If I get glutened, it's like right here, but it was like so cystic, you could pinch this and it'd be like the whole in between my eyebrows. And then like a few on my face. And I was using the face washes and stuff that a teenager would use. And now as an adult, I sleep in my makeup. I shower like twice a week because I'm a crazy hippie lady. Then if I wipe off my makeup before I apply it, like it's a water wipe. Yeah. And my skin, like, so some of it, like I have some acne up here that is clogged pore because that is like days of grease and dry shampoo. And it's right in my bang line where I do this all day. But there's a difference between clogged pores and like your skin is screaming, there's crap in my body.
Yeah. Which is something we're working on with Dave. We actually have him on Interesting Protocol, which maybe we can talk about that.
Pretty well though.
We got in a bad habit of me not sitting lunches with him, and then come to find out he didn't want to tell me. Not that he didn't want to tell me, but he didn't like the decision. He's just as obsessed with microplastics. I would say even more than I am. But he was like, "There's no other option besides a Keurig at work," and I was like, "I will order you a thermos that has." So we found a thermos that has no plastic involved besides like just a silicone ring.
Yeah, post a link to that.
I will. Actually, I had to do some serious deep digging to find one because it's really hard to find one where the lid isn't plastic. I'm like, it's going to lay in his lunchbox sideways.
Yeah.
Anyways, but so he has been just getting like a salad from basically the cafeteria, which I'm like, oh, that's sprayed probably way more than just like the Lay's potato chips. But
there was one day I was cutting his hair and there was like food trucks outside the salon in the little neighborhood up here. And he was like, oh, it must be food truck day because there's only food trucks at work.
At your work?
Seed oils. Yeah. Up at the little Thursday night thing they do.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
you talk a little bit. I will talk to the people. I'm going to go grab some labels because I'm in my kitchen. So
okay,
that's perfect.
Yeah. So the layout of food labels, the standard food label has about 5 main parts. We got the serving size, calories, nutrients, percentage for daily values, and then the ingredients list. And so I think a little disclaimer before we start is that we all have the things we'll let slide in our like ingredients list. Like sometimes like if I'm desperate, there's certain things I'll allow to slide. And so like, don't get too overwhelmed by all of this. So,
on letting things slide, somehow, surprisingly, there's actually not that much garbage in my house. Not surprisingly, I'm about to ovulate. So we should have done this in late luteal when there's hidden treats all over my house full of garbage.
Do you hide treats
from my husband and children? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Because I'll be at work all day and I'll be crampy and I'm like, I'm going to go home and eat, I don't know, whatever snack. And it's still like all gluten-free, not like it's still better than 90% of America, but I'll come home and like, I'll get like pre-bought oatmeal cookies. And then I'm like, oh yeah, all day at work, I'll be thinking about those oatmeal cookies and I'll come home and find an empty package. So yeah, absolutely. I hide snacks.
Okay. So do you want to show us something with the serving size?
Yeah. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I don't know how that's going to translate. Well, I guess then most of you are listening, not watching.
Yeah.
But you can take any of your food labels and it'll have nutrition facts on the top. And then right underneath that, it usually says how many servings per container. So like this pasta has 6 servings per container. Each serving size is 2 ounces. I remember being younger and I would actually measure out my food when I was like really working out and like trying to hit certain macros, which is good, but like if you make it your idol, then it's not good. But this box, in theory, should feed 6 people evenly. Doesn't necessarily funnel out that way when you have 2 small bodies and 2 big bodies living in the same house. But so that's what that means. That means if you take this box and you divide each of these pastas into 6, they'll be equal. One of those servings is what this label means. So like there are 44 grams of carbs in one serving, which is kind of high for carbs, but they're clean carbs, which we'll get to the bottom of the label. Yeah. But if you're tracking your carbs, if you like have blood sugar imbalances, like that's probably good to know. Well, how many of us are actually eating
I'm going to interrupt you. Wait, before you, with the blood sugar imbalances, have you seen where if you drink apple cider vinegar, like just a little bit in your water, like a capful in your water before you have carbs, it reduces your insulin spike, your blood sugar spike by like 70%.
That's amazing.
So I've been doing that and I haven't been having the crash and needing to take a nap. So just something to throw in out there for our listeners.
Yeah.
Hold on just a minute, guys. Yes, my love. I'm podcasting with Irene. Can you give me just a minute? What do you need? Oh, my water.
But yeah, so this 44 carbs, if you break this box into 6, how many of us are actually just eating 1/6 of a serving of this box? Or usually, like, I could probably eat half of this box, no problem. And then that's 112 carb? I don't know. I don't math. I can do 44 and 44 is 88, so that works. Anyways, then it goes down to how many calories. Again, that's per like 1/6 of the serving, not the whole box. So sometimes like a yogurt, like a travel yogurt will say per container. Then you know that whole container, this is what's in it. But you have to check how many servings. If you're looking, this has 0 sugars. Specifically, if you're looking for sugars, like here's some granola, organic, non-GMO, made with coconut sugar, still has 6 grams of sugar per 1/3 of a cup. There's 9 servings in this bag. So you take this bag and split it into 9. That's 6 grams of sugar, which actually is pretty low for most things on the market. Yeah. But most people, like if I pour some of this in yogurt, I'm not pouring out 1/3 of a cup. I'm pouring like half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup.
Right. But you also have to think about what type of sugar. Like, so I'm going to jump just a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
But like, so if it has 6 grams of sugar, then you kind of have to bounce to the ingredients list and you're like, oh, it's just maple syrup is the sweetener. Not that like you should ignore maple syrup, like it's a free for all, but like that's a different sugar than dextrose.
Like our husbands and their coffee.
High fructose corn syrup. Yeah, like man, they're generous with their maple syrup.
Because I'm like, how much do you want? I'm like, I don't like a bloop. And then I'll watch and it's like bloop. I'm like, that's not a bloop. That's a blurp. Like, bloop. And if you pour maple syrup every day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My hair's probably gonna.
Or like if it's organic cane sugar, which is not the best, but like, you have to pick where you're okay with. Maybe there's a little bit more higher sugars, but it's more of a natural sugar that like your body can actually like process versus like the dextrose, the concentrates, rice syrup, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So sorry.
You're
jumped
good.
in.
No, that's perfect because our next on my outline is to go into the ingredients list. So actually, I'm going to jump back up to here. Unless you're bodybuilding or like on a marathon training or like really severely working out for a short-term goal in mind, because it's not healthy for the body to be that fight or flight long-term. I ignore most of the things on the top label, except sugar. I'm not looking to get my body shredded. I'm not looking to I just want to be internally strong and fit. So if you're on that track, I'd maybe even say find a podcast of someone who does holistic macro counting. That's not me. I just go for ingredients and how much sugar. So this part, I also don't believe in cholesterol. So cholesterol and saturated fat content is not going to make a difference.
Oh my gosh.
Because I know what a healthy fat is. So I don't need to oh great, fine fat.
I want to do an episode on like the deep dive of where the food pyramid came from. Someday when we have more bandwidth, we're going to have excellent content on deep dives on things.
Yeah.
Right now, this season is not it, but I would say pretty soon we can start doing that, because the food pyramid's a joke. So you should just flip it upside down. The mostly meats, veggies, and then really little carbs.
Yeah.
Most people thrive off that.
Do you want to talk about how the ingredients portion works? I got to find the setting that turns off my screen. My screen keeps going black. It's driving me nuts to have to reface it. So it goes from this part, which I mostly ignore, to the actual ingredients. Well, how do you know what ingredients and how much are in by this
Which
section?
part are you in? Part 3?
I'm in, I don't know, my phone keeps closing. Yeah, part 3. So like the order of what is in it.
Yeah, so like legally the ingredients have to be listed by weight, in order by weight. That means the first ingredient is what the most of is in the box. So if the first ingredient is sugar or high fructose corn syrup, you should just put it back on the shelf. Especially if it's not
ketchup's a bit. We eat so much ketchup in our house, and we always do Heinz organic.
Let me just
because if you flip over the regular ketchup, I think the first ingredient is corn syrup.
Yeah.
The second ingredient is tomatoes. So on those kind of ketchups, if the very first ingredient is corn syrup, that means there's this much corn syrup in a bottle this big. There's this much corn syrup, this much tomato, and then everything else is seasonings.
Yeah. Yeah. And so they also use sneaky names for like sugars that don't typically appear, like that could be listed as the first ingredient. So like dextrose, maltose, fruit, juice extract, brown rice syrup, evaporated cane juice. Like there's probably even more. They're pretty dang sneaky with what they do.
And let me check this one, because some of the packages even it'll have like corn syrup, and then later on it'll have sugar, and then later on it'll have
they'll list it twice. Yeah, that's how they get
3 different like lumps of sugar you're getting. Not this one. This one just has. So for instance, kind of backtrack. These oats, they're purely Elizabeth. The first ingredient is organic certified gluten-free oats. That means majority of this bag, the heaviest weighted thing in this bag is certified gluten-free oats. The second ingredient is organic coconut sugar, which that though means there's a lot of coconut sugar, because there's a lot of ingredients down here that are less than that coconut sugar in weight. Then it goes to coconut oil, organic sunflower seeds, organic puffed amaranth, organic quinoa flakes, organic chia seeds, organic cinnamon, sea salt. Yeah. So that just means sea salt is the least, cinnamon is the next, and it kind of goes up.
Yeah. From there. And like, we don't need to get into all this right now. This wasn't really in our notes, but like things like amaranth. Amaranth is a grain stock, like a grain. So like when I used to work in agriculture, basically when the company I worked for started getting into like spraying stuff, that's when I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't be affiliated. Like it is literally against everything I believe in.
Hang on, guys. What's up, guys?
But amaranth is something that is highly sprayed. So like if you're not getting an organic item, I know it's so hard and guys, times are so tight and everybody's feeling that pinch financially. And you're not a bad person if you can't afford organic. But if you're looking at things and it's like whole wheat and it's not organic, or amaranth and it's not organic, or cornstarch and it's not organic, you just know that it is a genetically modified stock and it has been probably heavily sprayed and then processed and then put in your food. So like it's just something to be aware of, how like grains are processed, which is so like obnoxious. So obnoxious that we have to record this. Like, why can't we just trust our
the food that grows out of the ground? You would assume it used to be like, oh, if it grows out of the ground, you can eat it. Now I'm like, what was the ground sprayed with? What was planted there the year before? Who owns it? What seeds are those?
Yeah, and to a warning to our listeners, I did a rant on my personal Instagram, but the appeal has just been approved by the FDA to be sprayed on organic food. It's Bill Gates's stuff, and actually what is it called when they were doing it before it was approved. So it's been happening for a long time. I was telling Irene that I had some Brussels sprouts in my fridge for 5 months that were organic, and they were not wilty at all. There was like 1 or 2 that were a little wilty. Yeah. And I'm like, that is not normal. So just do the best you can with what you got. But we can break down some red flags in the label if that's okay.
What are your hard nose? Do the red flags and let's talk about your hard nose, because I'll tell you my hard nose too.
Here's the list of that we have here is sugars in the first 3 ingredients. Like that's just trickery of you're just asking for diabetes and all sorts of problems. Hydrogenated oils, trans fats, that's just like inflammation city. Artificial colors like red 40, yellow 5, linked to hyperactivity and behavioral issues. Preservatives, BHT, sodium, benzoate, is that how you say it? MSG or yeast extract, flavor enhancers that can mess with your brain signals. So like what my hard nose
make you so starving.
Yeah. So
like that's the stuff that can make you, MSG is the stuff that gives me migraines, but it can make you, it's like when you get a dip, and I love a dip. So this is a hard, I don't know, stumbling block for me. It's like, because I even found a dip that is made out of Greek yogurt, and the ingredients, there were like no seed oils. I was like, oh, great. But then I would eat it and I'm like, why can't I stop eating this? And it's I will eat like half the container. There's some sort of something, MSG, yeast, I don't know what it is, but in that is making me not able to say like, hey, this is enough.
Yeah. And what they can sometimes, I need to look into this and actually get the deep, I should have done that for this, but I didn't have time. But MSG is sometimes not labeled because they consider it a natural product. It was actually, the MSG is a naturally occurring thing in nature. It comes from seaweed, but the seaweed has to be processed a very certain way. And that is not sustainable or affordable for these big corporations to make these things with MSG to where people will keep coming back. So they made a synthetic version in the lab to where you'll just keep coming back, but that has a whole bunch of side effects. And that's the MSG we're talking about. MSG does naturally occur.
Yeah.
But so maybe it has natural MSG, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it's not organic. It's non-GMO, but not, and so that's another thing on the label, guys. Sometimes I'll get something that at least says non-GMO. I try to get non-GMO organic. It doesn't always happen.
It depends on where we're at in the budget.
Yeah.
If we're pretty,
we just do the best we can.
If we're being honest, because like sometimes I'm like, okay, like I know we have X, Y, and Z this month, and we try to, I try to, in my mind, I kind of stick with my own grocery budget, which is like the second largest bill in our household besides our mortgage.
Yep.
And I do not regret that at all because I feel like it reflects in our daughter and how wonderful she is. But I just like, it's something you have to invest in. But in my hard nose, I will never, ever touch red 40 or yellow 5 again. And it's like pickles have yellow 5 in it. Like
that is the hardest thing to find.
I know a place. Our local grocery store up the road, Irene, has it. And they have, honestly, like we live in a teeny tiny town, and I don't know why, but our very teeny tiny town, the only organic thing they have is like a large variety of organic pickled things. So they have organic sauerkraut, organic pickles, organic olives, organic like peppers and stuff. So like, I don't know why, but our very tiny town has like great pickle options. But still, even those have citric acid in it, which is a preservative.
Yeah.
But I love pickles, and we don't have enough pickles right now, like to pickle, or like enough cucumbers to pickle. So like you have to do the best you can with what you got. Yeah, girl, we got to talk about that. You planted too many damn seeds.
Sorry. Apparently when you plant cucumbers, you're supposed to drop a cucumber. And I was like, let's just sprinkle like 3 in each hole.
Every like 6 inches.
Sorry.
It's fine. But like you have to just do the best you can with what you got. Cause I'm not going to not eat pickles. Cause like that's something I absolutely love and I have craved every day of my life. And so I just get the best version of what I can until I can afford to like have a huge garden and stock pile and can and all that stuff. So that's my number one. Artificial dyes I will absolutely never do. MSG is probably the next, and then preservatives we don't do, and then hydrate like the oils, because like sometimes we do seed oils, like like for instance,
my other box I brought here. Most of the time we try to do like organic chips or the Siete taco shells, but it wasn't in the budget this month, so I got these, which are limed corn flour, palm oil, and salt.
Yeah. Here, hold on.
And our peanut butter has palm oil, so it's like but it only has peanuts, palm oil and salt. In my peanut butter, since my kids eat a ton of it, we try to we do non-GMO, sometimes organic, but I don't want sugar. I don't want peanuts and sugar because they're already like sneaking maple syrup in it.
It's just, you do the best you can. I don't know how many times I have to say that and how many times you're probably going to hear me say it, but like
forever.
Like we just hosted, my daughter's birthday yesterday. And so like we're paying them for everybody to eat nachos. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not buying Siete chips for everybody to eat. There's like 25, 30 people here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that.
And
so
Costco has a giant bag of
organic. You guys know it. It's like it's organic tortilla chips. And so it has canola oil and, but like you just do the best you can with what you got. What are your hard no's?
Hard no's are MSG.
Yeah.
BHT is a hard no.
Yeah.
I'm a little more like lax on food coloring for myself, but not for the kids, unless we're like at a birthday party. Like a little doses aren't going to kill you. I will have to deal with repercussions, but
and them,
but it's just hyperactivity so far. But that's like twice a year at a birthday party they have something with dye in it. But my hard no for me and my daughter is wheat. So there's a lot of things. It's a lot of mom mental load when everyone's hard no's are different.
Yeah.
So for my daughter and I, it's wheat. And for everybody in the house, it's MSG and BHT are absolutely not. I really try not to do. We don't really buy things with soy. That's more like if we're eating out somewhere and there's soy oil or like a granola. Soybean oil. So
I mean,
but
I would
BHT,
love
MSG, and wheat are my 3 top hard no's.
I think part 2 to this episode, I would love to go into specifics of why these seed oils are bad, why the artificial food, like why BHT, why all of it is a no.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like the basics, like a quick guide, so you can make a note in your phone of like, oh yeah, Red 40 is bad because of hyperactivity.
Yeah.
And
we can make a cute little graphic when we're not drowning under our to-do list.
I know. What I do think is lovely that we have said like, oh, like when we have the funds, we're going to like hire somebody to help us do these things. And we've had messages of women saying like, I would love to do that. Like, let me know.
Well, we cannot pay you.
We cannot pay you right now. But what we can do is we can recommend that you parasite cleanse your family. I know it's maybe a weird transition, but like with all this talk of like ingredients that are very important.
Things bogging you down.
Yeah. Like our systems are so overburdened right now with just, what they're spraying in the air, what they're spraying on the crops, what they're putting in our food.
Yeah.
You could take out one less complication of parasites where we can get them from a grocery store, we can get them from restaurants, we can get them from touching a door handle, and it can cause lots of things.
Yeah.
So
and I do think a lot of the like health community makes it such a like, oh, the parasite, and it, like even me, probably in the beginning, it made it this big, like daunting, you have to do this. I kept holding off because I was like, well, so-and-so has a birthday, I'm probably going to eat cake. So-and-so has this, like, there was always a reason not to do it. And what I love is that Kim from Rogers said, just don't overthink it. Because then you'll also hear people say, absolutely do not do a parasite cleanse if your drainage pathways are closed. And I remember thinking, I think if my drainage pathways were open, I wouldn't have a parasite problem. So it's like, what do you, the stress of it being this big parasite cleanse your family made me think like, that's too much, I can't do it. Where you don't have to, you just have to take the drops. Don't make it a big deal. Like,
and take a binder.
Take a binder, take your drops, and then like, change your diet if you can, but don't. I'm very all or nothing personality, and I think a lot of people are too. So it's like, oh, I ate a cookie, then it's like, well, I might as well quit the parasite cleanse. Like, just my best advice is do it. Don't overthink it.
Yep. And you guys can actually get a discount code with our code. It's UTSB10 for 10% off. And they have sales, all the time at rogershood.com. And it's like, it's a 10 days on, 10 days off, 10 days on. And like, you won't regret it and you'll feel much better. And you'll actually, I remember having the feeling of like, oh, I didn't know what it was like to not feel so bad. So we want that for you and your family. So go to rogershood.com and let us know how your parasite cleanse goes.
Sorry, my kids are looking for snacks.
No, that's okay.
Let's see what else. Oh, I do want to say, if you're wanting to start swapping things out, like for me with gluten, there's so many ingredients on a label. I try to, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, just keep it simple. Like even with these taco shells, they're not organic. They are certified gluten-free, but there's only 3 ingredients. It's corn, palm oil, and salt. And so for my digestion, I found like the less ingredients, the better. So like these, I will never buy a pasta ever again for now. I guess ever again, that's dramatic. I will never buy a pasta for now that is not jovial because their ingredients are organic brown rice flour and water. So if you're starting to go gluten-free or are new in gluten-free, the gluten-free stuff is like corn and this and this and this and this and this, like all the stuff to get it to hold together.
Gluten-free stuff is
do best on low ingredients. And this jovial, they have like the twisty pastas for pasta salad. They have the little macaroni noodles. They have boxed mac and cheese, which I've never looked at the cheese ingredients, but
it's not bad. No,
but it tastes delicious. So
yeah. And that's something you have to just like, we try to do, like, if you can't pronounce it, then we don't buy it.
Yeah.
Like it's very rare that we buy things that we can't pronounce or at least understand.
Yep.
But also,
what's your natural flavor take?
For when I was not pregnant, it was depending on where I was in my cycle. Cause like I like the poppies and poppies have natural flavors.
Yeah.
But like, I think it also depends on the brand.
Yeah. I actually read a very convincing argument from Rob Wolf of all people.
Okay.
He started the Element sea salt thing.
Yeah.
And that has natural flavors. So a lot of people are like, dude, why do you have natural flavors if you're this like holistic paleo guy?
Right.
And he put out this long thing that said like natural flavor. Like I'll just have to link the article if I can even find it. I think I saw it on someone's Instagram story. So I'll just see if chat can find it for me.
It depends.
It was very like convincing that if you trust the brand, like you were saying, the natural flavors are probably fine.
Sold out. Before Poppy sold out, this was like that was something we purchased with natural flavors. Otherwise, we haven't purchased natural flavors in a long time.
Like I don't think right now there's anything in my house with natural flavor, but again, it's just depending on my cycle.
I do want to just throw in here real quick that this transition doesn't have to happen overnight. Like I remember when we first started,
years in the making,
years and years and years. And I know it can be super overwhelming. Like as a mom to be like, oh my gosh, like look in your cabinet and you're like, oh my gosh, it's filled with like Cheez-Its and Oreos and all these things. I would just, if I were to give advice to you, if you're starting brand new or you're just like actually going to commit to it, go into your pantry and like use up what you have. And when you go to replace things, replace them with something like 10% better or like whatever's in your budget, like something just not as
like groceries are expensive. Please do not go and throw all of your things away because I have that urge. I'll get the urge of something. And I'm like, I need to throw this away and replace it. And I'm like, this bag is 3/4 of the way full. Do not be wasteful. Pray that the Lord will protect your belly. Eat it, be grateful for it, and then buy something new next time.
Yeah, that's something that's underrated is praying over your food.
Yeah. And corn syrup, I guess, is another one. Corn syrup's it's not an absolute, like if I'm out at a restaurant and I'm eating ketchup, I know there's corn syrup in it. But stuff I'm buying for my house, corn syrup also is very likely to give me a migraine if I have too much. So corn syrup's to bounce back to that one. Because things I look for are like sugars. I'm fine with coconut sugar. I'm fine with maple syrup, honey. I'm fine with organic cane sugar in moderation. Yeah. Actually, my biggest weakness in life is the Haagen-Dazs vanilla. But why I like it, and this is ignoring all of like the saturated fats and stuff, the ingredients are egg yolks, cream, sugar, and vanilla. Like 4 ingredients. Yes, it's a crap ton of sugar, and I'm definitely eating. I think a pint's supposed to be like 3 servings. I'm like, a pint is 3 servings?
We'll make ice cream.
But that is
for you.
Maybe. In the meantime, actually, I buy it so much that my local grocery store sends me coupons, and that's like my free item. Looks like I'm not on a spending freeze when my ice cream is free. But it's for me, it's ingredients. There's no natural flavors. There is no corn syrup. Most of the ice creams out there have corn syrup because ice cream is like probably my number one weakness in life. But I'm an ice cream snob about it because if the ice cream has corn syrup, I'm not getting it. And if it has gums, unless it's a big family event, like for big family events, I will get, there's an ice cream out there. I can't even remember the name, but it has cream,
Kirkland's.
sugar, egg yolks. Oh, Kirkland's is the same as the one that I get from our grocery store nearby. But it has gums in it. And so I won't buy that if I'm just eating it myself, but it doesn't have corn syrup if I'm feeding the masses, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's the same with like the cream cheese from Costco that like you and I were just at Costco together and you're like, but that has gums in it. And I was like, yeah, but like I'm making cheesecake for a birthday party. Like that is going to feed, you know, 25 people. I was like, I'm not buying everybody.
So good.
Thanks.
I did last night. I don't know what happened at the birthday party, but I puked like 3 times last night. And then I waited to see if Nova would puke because we ate the same things and she seemed good. So don't know what it was.
I didn't cook anything
I didn't
on
think there
purpose.
Was anything.
I deep cleaned my whole kitchen on Monday. Did all my baking on Tuesday, and I made sure to intentionally not do any sourdough through the weekend.
But I've been there when you made sourdough, so it must have just been like my guts doing something weird. But
it
all
that to say,
I puked at the cheesecake, but it was so good.
The second time around too?
No, but the first time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe it's the gums.
In life.
It's very heavy in cream cheese. I don't know.
I don't know. That's something like I didn't really choose to be crazy. My body kind of forced me to be crazy.
Yeah.
So
what's wonderful though is that like some of this stuff, like I can eat sourdough now in moderation and not have this inflammatory response. You know, like I used to like, oh no, like I'm just gonna get Chick-fil-A sandwich like way back when, before like early marriage or maybe even before we were married. So like 8-9 years ago, I could be like, oh, I'm gonna get a Chick-fil-A sandwich with bread. And like my joints would immediately hurt within a half hour. Like I had brain fog, like I couldn't think. And then now like I can have like micro exposures and I can tell I'm a little creaky in my wrist and knees and like I'm a little more bloated, but like it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah. I think the cleaner your system is, the less like awful it is. Like there's been a couple times where I think I was glutened and I'd get a migraine, but it didn't knock me out for days. It knocked me out for like a day. So it's like the reaction is still there, but it's tolerable as much as that can be, you know?
Yeah. But, so have you ever tried like if you feel sick or something, like taking Takasumi real quick?
No.
Because I've done that like at like I have like a bout.
I kind of forgot we have it because I took all the capsules and now we just have the loose powder. But the powder's in Jacob's cabinet, not mine. So I forgot that we even have it.
I wonder if that would help. All right, where are we at? Part 5?
Yes.
Look at us actually being structured. Good job.
No, but we did not make 30 minutes, but we're doing good. Okay, so part 5 is just like a little, I don't know, summary, I guess, of like things to look for, things you want to see on a label, fewer ingredients, if it's within your budget, organic, non-GMO, ingredients you recognize, you can name, no added sugars, minimal to no preservatives or dyes.
Yeah. Yep. If the product says 100% whole grain, that should be a reflection of the first ingredient. If it says wheat flour, that's another word for just white flour, which like if you don't, again, it's what you can afford, what your celiac ratio is like. Yeah. You want to make sure you get organic if you can, but you just, do the best you can with what you got.
I should knock on wood. Not that we knock on wood, but like knock on wood. They've been so good. Just minimal interruptions.
We still have the closing to do, Irene. Come on. But wait,
transparency. So another thing that's on this is that I have written down is that the labels can be very tricky. What is it called? Greenwashing.
Oh yeah, for
where
sure.
It's like natural something, and
it has like green flour, a green stick on it, and you're like,
and that's something I had to like teach my mom when she stopped eating gluten and stuff. She'd be the first, she's like, oh, the front of it looks so healthy, and I'm using this. Like this is actually pretty good stuff. But it'd be like green, pure ingredients, and you flip it over, and it's like organic corn syrup. I'm like, organic corn syrup is still corn syrup, and that's still gonna like skyrocket your glucose.
Yeah.
So just make sure, even if the front of the package looks like it's the healthiest thing you've ever eaten in your life, always flip it over and go straight to ignore this and go straight to the ingredients.
Yeah.
And just see specifically what the first 2 or 3 ingredients are.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's, for sure. So yeah, you've got the tools you have to like to start your next shopping trip, but like also just take a deep breath. Don't let it be overwhelming. Just flip the box over, read what you can.
Because I have been in the grocery store early on when I started this. I remember like going to the car after I got groceries and just sobbing because it was like the most stressful thing I've ever done. Because at the time, I think I was the only one that was like doing it. Like everyone else was still eating McChickens while I'm at the grocery store, like zooming in on my BlackBerry to try to see the PDF of this company that I had to deep Google to make sure I wasn't going to puke later. So,
BlackBerry.
I loved my BlackBerry. I would still have that today. My husband didn't make fun of me.
Actually, I had a thought about a BlackBerry the other day. I have no idea. I remember like that rolly ball, and it just felt so nice to roll around.
So fast. Do you remember how clicky I was with my long nails? But yeah, don't let it stress you out to where you go to the car and cry, because that's also not good for your nervous system.
Yeah. I honestly, the easiest and cheapest way to do this is become an ingredients family. Like, not like a snacks family where your pantry is full, but like make sure your fridge is full. Like just have single ingredients, beef, fruits, veggies, eggs.
Yeah.
And then you can make some of your favorite snacks in bulk and make it easy. I should honestly
made some
someday I'm going to make a cookbook of like this is not it, but like the lazy hose way to like cooking good, healthy food. Cause like, I like to cook and I don't want more than 6 ingredients to put in it. Mm-hmm. So, just keep it simple.
For me, the number one eaten snack in our house is a cucumber with lemon and sea salt. Like Nova and I go through so many cucumbers a week. So
they're flowering for
now.
Me,
I planted 7,000 in your garden.
You gotta come help me pull weeds.
Okay. I need to work on my tan. I've got like, if you're listening, you're not gonna be able to tell. You can't even see it. But I was outside pressure washing and it's getting there. So I was like, I need to get outside more because I've spent years in a basement. Or working a 9 to 5.
I look like pregnant white trash because I
sometimes couches from the neighbors.
That's a story for another day. But I'll go out like in like a bandeau and I have my belly out and I'm in shorts because I just want to get sun.
Yeah.
All I want to do is naked garden, but I have neighbors that are too close. But I don't want them to see my booty. Yeah. But anywho, I think that's it for today.
Yeah.
Right?
So if you guys are at the store, I mean, we're really bad at responding, but if you are at the store and don't need an immediate answer, feel free to send us an Instagram message.
Yeah.
Picture thing. And we'll respond when we can. If like, I don't know if you ever need help or questions or like, hey, is this actually good?
Yeah.
To the best of our knowledge, we'll help. I think we're more than happy to help out.
We should make some graphics of like quick reaching graphics, but also I think we should do a part 2 on like, what is citric acid made of? Why is that bad? What is MSG and why is it bad? Mm-hmm. Just because like just because we said it on a podcast of like, don't eat these things.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you need to just like trust us and run with it. I mean, I guess the second part 2 would be the same, but I like to give people
do your own research.
Why? Yeah. Do your own research, but like, hey, this is what you're going to find as well. And it doesn't do us any good to be like, citric acid is terrible. Citric acid is made from moldy lemons, by the way. Mm-hmm. So if you're sensitive to mold.
Yeah.
I would avoid it, but any hoozle for
But it's in literally everything else.
Literally everything. So good times.
Well, thanks for putting up with our noises and our weird audio and our fuzzy video.
But we're just doing the best we can with what we got with also our food and our podcast, but things will get better because now we're going to finish up our podcast room and things won't be so hard for us to record all the time.
And I don't think I have one birthday party in July. So that's going to be nice.
Yeah. So anytime you want to just come home, hang out and let the kids play in the sand pit and we can pull weeds.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys for being here.
Bye.
Bye.
This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice.
Please do your own research and find a trusted medical professional for personalized guidance and advice.
We are not responsible for your decisions based on the information you hear on this podcast.
Bye.
Bye.